So in this video, I wanted to share with you a feature that Palo Alto has for its policy discovery that I really like. And if you have a Palo firewall that is deployed or getting deployed as a new firewall, and you can use this feature that I want to highlight for east-west traffic. So north-south, you don't want to do this, but just for east-west traffic, if you have a firewall that's getting deployed and is going to be the new firewall replacing something else. This feature is only available, by the way, for this Palo Alto firewall in 10.x OS version. So if you have this firewall that's getting deployed and you've got east-west traffic going, so in my setup I have VOS1 and VOS2 that I need to write the policies for on this firewall. But obviously when you have applications, high number of applications, large number of applications, that you would need to chase every application owner to figure out what port, what source, what destination, and all that good stuff needs to be determined to write the policies for east-west traffic. Then, and even for north-south, but east-west traffic is more safer. In north-south, you definitely want to write it down and then work with the application owners to write those policies. But for east-west, what you can do is you create an any-to-any from this zone to this zone. So you create two zones. In my case, I'll create V1 zone, and I would create a V2 zone. And then I would do any-to-any between them, any traffic. So what that would let me do is it would let me see what traffic is going through these two zones between these two applications, or let's just say this is a client and this is a server, or this is a server, or in any case, one could be acting as both. In my case, I think this is a server. So I'm making this as a web server. And this is a client. What I am doing is I am accessing a web page on this VOS. So this VOS is configured at 10.1.1.1. The firewall address is 10.1.1.10. This segment is 10.2.10. And this machine is configured with 10.2.2. I would be pinging this guy from here, my CMP, and I would be curling from here or accessing a web page. So I'll write a policy for any, and once I see these two traffic flowing through my firewall, because I've got an any policy on it, I would simply make them the only allowed policy or traffic to go through the firewall. That way it will be enforced and any would be disabled automatically instead of me statically writing the rules. So here's my VOS1. Show interfaces. It's got a 10.1.1 and it's got a show IP route. Default gateway to 10.1.1.10 and I'm able to ping it just to make sure that I am reaching the firewall. VOS2 is also the same way. 10.2.2.2, show IP route. Default gateway to 10.2.2.10. So now let's go to my Palo Alto firewall. Here's my interfaces. Nothing is configured except for the IP addresses on them. They're as layer 3 enabled with a network profile of ping, and this is their addresses. Policies, I've got nothing. So now what I'm going to do, so since there is no policy, I'm going to try to do 10 ping 10.2.2.2, and I can't. And I'm going to do ping 10.1.1.1. I can't. But what I've done from V2 is I'm going to differentiate. I don't want to do ping from both sides. So what I did, I wrote a simple script called get curl. So this is my simple script with a bash. Just write it in VOS shell. You're just going in loops, accessing a web page on 10.1.1.1. So for that, you would have to go on VOS1, which is the web server, and do set service HTTPS listen address 10.1.1.1, which is already configured. Okay, once you do that, commit, you can actually enable the web services on VOS1. So that's already done. Ping can go on for non-stop in a loop, but for curling, I had to write this loop, and I can do this for more than 50. So the way you do this is nano get curl sh for I in 1 to 50. I would just make this 100, 1000, whatever. Do curl HTTPS 10.1.1, which is the VOS1. Sleep for 20 seconds and then keep doing this. Control X, yes. And that's it. You may want, once if you're writing the script for the first time, you also want to do chmod +X get curl. That basically gives you the permission of executing this file, the script file. Okay. These are the only things that you got to do to get the script going. So now I'm going to do run the script get curl. Now it's going to go and it's trying to fetch the web page from the VOS1, and I'm going to run the script ping 10.2.2 to go ping this guy. So there are two different traffics going through now. One is an ICMP ping from VOS1 to VOS2. The other one is HTTP SSL from VOS2 to VOS1, but they're both not permitted. Now I'm going to go create a policy. I already have the zones, I believe. Let's see. Network zones and it's got VOS1, VOS2 as zones. Ethernet 1.1 and Ethernet 1.1.1.2 configured on both the zones. So I'm going to go now create a policy. And I've got default policies. I'm going to create a new one. And I'm going to call this traffic between V1, V2. And it's going to be source any, destination any, application any action. I'm just going to do the logging at session start so that it gets the logs. And when you're writing a policy, you will notice that there is no tab, there is no usage tab, but it will show up when the policy gets populated. Okay. Allow application any. There are no hit counts. So let's go commit this. So it's almost 98%, and you can see VOS1 is already pinging. There you go. The curl is working as well. This one is going to go on every 20 seconds just to keep the traffic going. And this is a ping. So my policy is in effect. And if you start, you'll probably start seeing the hit counts here for the traffic. And you can see I'm curling every 20 seconds now. I can see 7 hits on this guy. But now what you're going to do is, no, this is an intrazone, so that's not right. And the hit counts needs to be here. It'll show up in a minute. There you go, you got 15 hit counts. Now if you click on this guy, here's the new tab that you just saw. It wasn't there before, right? So you only saw up to the actions tab. The usage tab now is a new one in 10.x code. It wasn't there before. So if you do this guy, compare applications, you would start seeing the application flows and traffic flow here. But it'll take a while, almost 30 minutes or so. So we'll sit on this traffic flow, and in real world, you probably have to sit on it for a week, maybe a month, depending how the applications are working. But right now, it doesn't show anything, but we'll sit on it for 30 minutes, 45 minutes. So pause this and come back and wait till the application flow shows up. And we can enforce those as policies, right? So if you go right here, let's cancel this guy. Right now what's happening, I'm not only curling, I'm also pinging. But I don't want the ping to go through, I just want the curl to go through the HTTPS traffic. So we'll see that, okay? And now I'm just gonna sit on it for 30, good solid 30, 45 minutes, depending on how your virtual machine, this is a virtual machine, so depending on how powerful it is, how quickly it gets it. So we'll come back in 30, 40 minutes. Let me pause this and show you the traffic. So after approximately 15, 20, 30 minutes, we have some traffic coming in, getting logged. We've got around 160 hits on it. Made a slight change to the script. I just added HTTP as well. So keep that running. Go to the policy that's permitting any, and go to the usage tab. Compare applications and application scene. And here you'll see ping and SSL and web browsing. This is HTTP, HTTPS. Now what you can do is you can do this guy. Let's just say I don't want SSL, I just want web browsing. And I would say create a clone, add to this rule, add to existing rule. So I am interested in adding to this rule. And I would just say oak, and commit. Commit this rule. Okay, so committed successfully. You can see that application now allowed between on this rule. Before it was any, now I had ping and web browsing only. So as you can see, the ping is still working. And if I go back here, remember we tried the ping from this side. So let's, and it did work because it was any. Now that's not going to work because it's still doing any. It's doing the curl all right. So pings and web browsing is allowed. If I go and enable set services SSH, allow root, already configured. So now I should not be able to do SSH from here. So SSH is blocked, and I think I have set service SSH allow. That's also configured here as well. So I'm gonna do SSH bios at SSH is not allowed. So the only thing that is allowed is really pings and web browsing. There you go. So this way you can have single policies or multiple policies. If in this one it's allowing ping and web browsing both ways, right? So if you want to have one policy do something on one side going this way and the other one going the other way doing something else, permitting other applications, you can have 2 or 3 such policies. Start with any, see what applications are getting logged and what flows you're seeing, and then enforce them as a policy. In this case, I just did one just for demo purposes, but you can also choose, the zones, addresses, and all that. But just to simplify everything, and just to make sure that this, just to share that this feature in 10.x and above in Palo Alto is really useful while discovering applications on your network. Hope this helps.